Welcome to Security Guy Radio on Black Hat 2016. What's your name, sir?
My name is Craig Young. I'm a security researcher with Tripwire Avert.
What's the name of the company?
Tripwire?
Oh, Tripwire, yeah. And
Yep.
tripwire.com, is that your website?
Yes.
Okay, now security researcher, we haven't had one of those yet.
No, we have not.
So what do you research?
Lately, I've been doing a lot of embedded device hacking.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Define that for our non-technical users.
So looking at things that you're going to buy, a lot of stuff that you would typically call IoT or
There you go.
routers, security cameras.
Internet of Things.
Yeah.
Home
My
automation
refrigerator,
systems.
maybe
yeah,
now?
your refrigerator, for example.
Yeah.
Some people are starting to do internet-controlled locks on their front doors.
Oh, that's
and
true.
Smart trash cans, I heard, for San Diego.
Haven't seen that yet. That's an
They're being
interesting one.
Oh,
released
you
in
just
San
gave him a
Diego,
tip.
yes.
He's got to
Yeah.
research that
Yeah.
now. No, you give more work. He doesn't want to do that.
I like work. But yeah, I've been looking at these different devices and just finding a lot of different problems with them. And actually, more recently, I'm working and trying to spread awareness on how to actually find these problems.
That's interesting. Now, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, I was at one of the big physical security places, and we were finding that Panasonic, well, not to pick on Panasonic, but camera companies were shipping their cameras and putting password 01 as the
Yeah.
password, and nobody changed it. The installers never changed it. And some guy in Russia set up a website and was hacking into all these systems and showing baby monitors and cameras at your house and all this kind of stuff. And then the industry said, wait a minute, we can't do that anymore, right? And that's not even a hack. That's just being stupid and putting the wrong password
Sure,
on there, right?
yeah.
It's like a low-level hack. So with the Internet of Things, this is a big challenge. And literally, people would think, oh, well, my new refrigerator that gives me my list is not a big deal. But it is a big deal because that refrigerator can get to your phone can get to your home network could get to your office. Am I wrong about that?
No, you're absolutely right. It's
Okay.
all about the access that these things have.
Yeah.
They have access to the other devices on your network and can do damage. And they also have access to your internet connection.
So remember The Dark Knight, one of my favorite movies of all time?
Sure.
And Mr. Fox at the end there took all the cell phones in Gotham City and turned them on, and they all became listening devices and data gathering devices. That's technically possible, isn't it?
Maybe not exactly as it was in the film,
Right.
but in theory, yeah.
And-
Cell
yeah,
phones as listening
close.
devices, certainly.
Fascinating.
So
All right.
talk to us about what are the ways that you're finding, you're disclosing these flaws in the Internet of Things type devices, embedded devices.
Sure. So my philosophy is generally if you need to take a screwdriver to it, it's not worth trying to find. A lot of times going to the software or the company's website, you can download a software update for it, open up the software update, and you have a lot of information about the device. You can start
interesting.
scanning it kind of and finding things that are generally pretty apparent as far as security flaws if you know what to look for.
So what kind of security flaws are you finding? Are you finding, down to the code level, memory leaks, SQL injection, that kind of, flaws, or?
Yeah, so there are a lot of memory management issues, but really in this space, you don't even have to go so far
That
as to
far.
exploit that. That's a lot more complexity than you need to have. Your example with the Panasonic camera having a hard-coded password, I've seen stuff even worse than that in the IoT space. Like one of the baby monitors that I evaluated, if you kicked it off the network, which is very trivial to do, you can connect directly to it, and it has no password.
Oh, interesting.
So-
Off their local area, the little local network, or off your home network?
So if somebody was within, say, 150, 200 feet of your home,
Yeah.
they can send wireless signals to disconnect the baby monitor from your local home network and connect directly to it.
Oh, wow.
So are you finding in an array of devices that you do your research on that there's just no robust security controls from the development side?
Oh yeah, from the development side, they're oftentimes somewhat ignorant towards the security. It feels a little bit like some of the vendors kind of want to put their software out as beta and allow either the security flaws to go unnoticed or to have researchers help them out and point out the bugs.
So is this a developer issue or is this on the manufacturing side? Because then you get into the OEM issues of
Yeah.
who owns that responsibility.
So that's a very, very interesting question because a lot of the flaws actually do seem to come from manufacturers that are making internal components for these products. They make some sample code to give out to companies that are going to make an end product. That sample code, they didn't take security into mind, but the other company that's making their product, they assume this was all done with security in mind. So it ends up getting to us, the consumers, without anybody having ever really looked at it from a security perspective.
We had a couple of people talk about
Yeah.
this. It boggles my mind because isn't the whole point of having some kind of network
interconnected network.
Interconnected network, that it's secure. I don't get that part. And I understand from the business side, it's driven by cost factors, development factors. We talked to a guy who does protection against free code. What do you call it? Not free code. What do you call it?
Open source.
Open source, right? And he comes in and scans the open source because people use that to save time and money,
Yeah.
and they find all kinds of exploits in it. So it's really fascinating to me. So your research is to help the company you work for plug those holes, find those gaps, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, we want to spread awareness about the potential problems that people are going to have with these devices and work with the vendors to help them improve their products, shore things up, and hopefully eventually they'll get better products out.
So as a consumer, though, being a non-technical consumer, what can they do to be smart, so to speak?
So there's some strategies we have up on our blog, on the Tripwire blog, but in general, if you can keep devices on a wireless isolated network, which might be an option in your router, this is a good thing. A lot of these things, you don't need to connect directly to them, so you shouldn't have the ability to. When you do, it makes it more likely that, say, browsing to a malicious website is going to start attacking your other devices.
So since you're doing research in the space, do you feel there's going to be like an uptick in, let's say, malicious malware applications targeting embedded devices?
Yes, definitely, and we have been seeing that over the last couple years. We see more and more botnets on routers and NAS devices and security camera systems, and it's just going to keep on growing.
Well, I think one of the things I think about is I go to Lowe's and they have all these plug-and-do-it-yourself wireless camera networks.
Yep.
That, yeah, it's easy to get up and running, but I don't think the average guy on Main Street USA is thinking anything about whether his cameras can be seen at night in his house or something, right? And that's a big problem.
And we have the consumer issue is one, but then let's cross over to the critical infrastructure where there's embedded devices innate in that environment, all the sensors. If there are so many flaws and manufacturers and developers continue to not develop robust security controls, from a management perspective of doing the patching and the upgrading, how is that even feasible?
It's not. And when you're talking about these devices within the critical infrastructure, they're kind of opaque to security researchers in general. It's not so easy that I could go and get my hands on some of the smart metering equipment and have a legal means to be able to help find out if there are security problems, which certainly there are.
Because it goes back to that OEM issue where the manufacturers say, you make any changes, then we negate all kinds of SLAs and service and support, not to mention some manufacturers don't even give you permission to touch their devices, get the data, and even manage it.
Yeah, this is all true.
So now, would you be considered, I'm white hair, are you a white hat?
Yes, definitely.
That's a definition? Okay, I'm trying to learn all these definitions, all right.
And what is a white hat?
So when I'm doing hacks, I'm not doing hacks to steal somebody's money or get their data. I'm doing hacks to see that it's possible and figure out how to stop them.
Yeah.
Are you finding that, I'm on the fence on this hacking stuff, right? So I get that what Snowden did is a crime because I'm a cop. I get that part, right? You know what? I'm not sure it's all bad. Not sure yet. I don't have enough data on the guy. Are we finding this activism hacking is moving towards trying to help? Yes, it's bad. Yes, they commit problems. Yes, it's a crime. But is there an end goal to say awareness, like you're saying? Hey, listen, guys, wake up. I got it into the, who was the guy that hacked the Secretary of Defense's desktop? Some kid, right, or something like that. Just to prove his point. He wasn't trying to steal anything, right? Are you finding that people in the industry are really concerned and they're acting as patriots, or most of these guys are criminals? I'm not really sure where all these people fall into place.
I think that, so there are definitely a lot of criminals. I think, though, some of them are really looking with altruism in mind. Like you look at, I don't know if you're familiar, the hacking team was a company that was selling surveillance software. They got hacked, as well as several other companies in the same industry, all by the same guy or entity, Phineas Fisher, who I do think that he has good intentions in mind. It's a little bit fishy, though, or gray when you start talking about the fact that he's releasing components from their software which then get reused in attacking people.
Yeah.
But on the same time, you need that information to be able to defend yourselves.
Yeah, very interesting. What? Give us the name of your company one more time.
Tripwire.
And your name?
Craig Young.
And you're a?
Senior security researcher.
Senior security researcher. Thanks for coming to Security Guy Radio at Black Hat.
Thank you.
Very interesting conversation. Thanks again. And come on our 6-minute show anytime you want to talk about all this stuff. It's great.
Thanks.
Thanks.